are back. This is another episode of Is This a Pickleball Podcast? I'm your host, Matthew K. Pickleball, and I am joined today by the incredibly patient co-host, Wilson, who has just been standing in the wings waiting for me to get my stuff together, but I'm together. Wilson, how are you doing beyond being tired of waiting for me to get this thing rolling? How are you?
No, don't say that. It wasn't too long of a wait. I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a good week so far. How's your week been going?
You know what? My week is crazy, but I'm in the pod right now, so things aren't that bad. I'm hanging out with you. And you know what? Let's just chug along because you don't want to hear about my week because there's not a lot of pickleball with this week for me. But next week.
All right.
However, before we kick things off, I think it's time for a fit check. Mr. Wilson, how's this? This is coordinated. You see blue and
That's
blue?
nice. I got my tan too. I mean, I don't have blue, but
You're
got
always
that.
looking suave. You're always looking good in the pod. But I'm wearing one of my favorite pickleball apparel brands right now, SideoutApparel. They've got sort of like the old school tees, like the more streetwear.
It looks
And
like
then
a skater tee, you know?
I like the
There you
thicker
go.
collar. Yep.
Yeah.
And simple designs. The real designs are on the back of the shirts, which if I turned around, I would reveal too much of the mess that is concealed behind me. So, and then this is one of my favorite hats. It's from, you see, can you guess who it's from?
Gherkin.
Gherkin, and we'll talk about them a little later on in the pod. But I like their hat design. I the I don't know, is that not the stitching? I just like the hat, so I'm wearing it. And yeah, this is not a paddle review. So for that Facebook guy that gets all upset about folks wearing paddle companies' hats, you know what? It's the Matthew K Pickleball YouTube channel. We like hats. It's as simple as that. So if that means, what was the crazy term? If that means, if that means I'm Bush League, I'm Bush League. All right. And you know what? Let's keep the rants going, Wilson. I got a crazy comment. I actually thought about doing like a weekly like Instagram post, like crazy comment of the week, or something like that. But I won't say who it was, but someone I so I had a glitch in the YouTube app. Like on my phone, there's like an app that we use to like respond to comments, and it aggregates and it pulls comments from all the different videos. And I had a glitch. I wasn't seeing comments from videos, and I still has not gotten fixed. So, folks, if I'm missing your comments, I'm sorry, but it won't affect the giveaways. Which, before I get into my comment rant, why don't you go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, leave us a comment, because on the Matthew K. Pickleball YouTube channel, I forgot to say this, but we're all about the giveaways. We've got one for the Honolulu Notch Foam series. We have a ThriveFURY. We have a Carbon True Foam Genesis 4. So the OG True Foam, but in that hybrid shape. All those giveaways are live because I'm a little behind because my work week's been crazy. So make sure you check out all those videos, enter those giveaways, and all those giveaways require a comment. And so back to my story, Wilson. I'm always reading the comments, and someone, I guess a new subscriber, or I don't know if they're subscribing, but they're certainly commenting, is saying in my Honolulu video, this is the one that caught my attention. What? Don't listen to this faker. This guy's never released a video with play footage. For all we know, he's a 2-0 and has never hit a pickleball in his life. Faker. I was like, what is going on? And I kindly informed this commenter, there's play footage all throughout that video, that massive video, which kind of bombed, Wilson, which was a surprise. It covers all the NF paddles, but it came out when everyone was doing dedicated J6 videos, and we're going to talk a little bit about that because I think the J6 mayhem has kind of made some things get overlooked a little bit, and I want to highlight what I think might have been missed in that stuff. Although love the J6 paddles, But the J6 paddles are covered in this massive video. But anyway, I was like, what? What? And so I let him know there's play footage. It's over in the performance section. And then I realized I'm missing all these comments. And then I go digging around in the comments. And he had commented on, I think, 2 other videos. But I think it all started, he watched one of our podcasts. And he was confused that there was no play footage. So I kindly let him know there, oh, I saw your other comment. There's play footage over there, but there's no way play footage is ever going to get put into podcasts. No one does that, to my knowledge. There's just not enough time to turn around. We try to record these and get these up as fast as possible because we're covering all the news. Yeah. And so I let him know. And so, my friend, if you're watching this pod, if I haven't scared you away with my 2.0 stats, yes, I am definitely a 2.0, even with the play footage. But if you're still watching, please know the reviews have the play footage. And then Wilson, he's got play footage on his channel. He's linked in the description, so you can make sure he knows how to play pickleball. But that's the fit check and the comment rant of the day. I don't know how I will break that up in the stuff. But hey, Wilson, do you think I should be calling out comments? What do you think?
I like to hear these comments. I think you should. It's fine with leaving them anonymous, but I like to hear what other people think.
All right,
Since you're the
cool.
only one who get the notification, since it's your channel, it would
And
be
I
nice to hear a couple of these rants,
good.
these comments.
Yeah. I also found you had written some really nice replies to some people that had gotten hidden. Another YouTube issue. So those are unhidden. That won't happen again.
I
That
just
was
like to,
crazy.
I like to clarify some misunderstandings whenever there are and whenever I can, I like to
Yes.
help out.
Well, Wilson, I appreciate it. I'm sure the folks watching appreciate it. And on that, let's start drumming up some comments because I got some thoughts. So right now I wanted to kick off the podcast with some paddle news and going to the J6 release. I think I did that. I did a big video breaking down all of Honolulu's NF paddles. There is not another review video out like that. I cover every notched foam paddle that Honolulu has released in a single video. I ended up calling it's now called Updated NF Guide. This is different than my complete unabridged next gen paddle guide for Honolulu because that actually breaks down the different lines between their Gen 3 Plus line, between their notch foam line, and then their FC Plus line. The NF video breaks down all the different shapes and highlights which one might be good for you and your playstyle. And I walked through all that. But, dude, J6 came out and everyone freaking missed out on this puppy here. Ooh. The J3NF. I don't see anybody talking about this thing. And this has happened before with the J3s. The J3s just don't get the love that they deserve because they always come out after the J2 release. And the J2 has been my preferred shape probably for 12 months, maybe longer. But the J3, like in its previous iterations, in its other forms, I had highlighted as being freaking little bazookas, especially for when they came out. And then this one is no different. It is very powerful, in my opinion, in this very compact shape. And I just want to highlight it. It's got a massive 6-inch handle, that same Gen 4 build, which is very unique. The notch foam build we haven't really seen that in other Gen 4 paddles. Very unique play attributes, in my opinion. I think it's less propulsive than a lot of the next gen paddles we've seen that use the horseshoe or the is it unencumbered? Is that how you say that word?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. If I said it wrong, there's going to be a person that lets me know. But I think the notches help stabilize that core so the ball sinks into the paddle less and then doesn't shoot off with as much propulsiveness. And I think it's a great transition paddle to foam if you're coming from honeycomb or from a Gen 3 paddle. I really
Also,
like the design.
also, I think for people who are interested in a standard shape paddle, this paddle has a 6 inch, did you say 6 inch handle? So
Six
it's
inch.
usually, standard paddles have really short handle. Standard paddles have really short handles. So this is a great transition if you're coming from elongated or even hybrid. It's a good option.
Yes. I agree 100%. 16 by 8 inches, and their target swing weight's 108 to 113. So that's
Nice.
a little lower than the J2 design, but I think it's got a comparable sweet spot as the J2, it's 6.8 to 7.1. But I think it feels more powerful than the J2 versions, in my opinion. And it's got a average weight range of 7.9 to 8.3. So if you get a heavier one, you're going to probably see even more power. And yeah, I just wanted to highlight it because I think it's being overlooked. The J6 paddles are great, but you can get power in a tiny package if you want it. And I got a little lost last week. I'm working on video, like breaking down the pros and the cons of all the $100 foam paddles we're seeing. And I wanted to make sure, like, that's why we got delayed. I wanted to make sure I had prices noted for everything we're talking about today. And so this one is $175.50 after promo code MatthewK knocks off that 10%. And yeah, is that price difference worth it? I personally think I was actually thinking about this because this is all I'm thinking about because this big video has just gotten way too big, and I'm trying to help my dad with his next paddle choice.
What is he
And
using right now?
he's been using a very old 11624 YSF. I don't even know if you know what
Wow.
that is.
Yes, I
Do
do.
you know what that? Okay.
Yeah.
No one else watching this does. But so like a traditional elongated paddle and 11624's very first release actually, which I would say has more pop than a lot of the paddles in that package, that shape for the time. And he's then also been playing with the OG J2K,
Mhm.
not the J2 Ti. I was just trying to make sure J2K, but he wants a little bit more power. And so I've been thinking which paddle is for him. And my thing about my dad is I worry about him getting in trouble with pop-ups. I don't want him to, because he does move up to the kitchen. He knows he's got a basketball background. He's got footwork. Um, but I don't want him to pop stuff up because he already has to deal with that. The folks he plays with, he has to deal with his partner popping up, and so I don't want him to pop up and get balls slammed back at him. And I think some of the lower priced foam paddles, you really need to know how to customize. You really need to have a good handling of paddles and what you need help with from a paddle. And so I think what I really landed on is I think he should try out the J2NF. So that's going to be the same shape that he had been that he's used to, and I think it's going to give him a power boost. And then I'm thinking about picking out a Gen 3 variety for him as well. I don't know what shape. I don't think that's. I think the Gen 3s. I think that one. I think between those two, those will be some good choices. And I am still debating on the reach question for him. And I actually, yeah, so I think the J2NF and then a Gen 3 paddle. Maybe like a lot of brands are dropping Gen 3 paddles now that are kind of like clones or their own takes. And so I'm going to see if there's one for him that I think would be a something for him to try out. But that brings me to like the question, like the super cheap foam paddles versus something that is a little more user friendly out of the box. I think that's the biggest thing you're getting from non-$100 paddles. And then also feel, I think it's really that, but now we're getting more nuanced. But yeah, I'm trying to figure this out, Wilson, because this video, it's
I mean,
dragging this
these
hundred dollar
the
phone
panels that are
video.
coming out now, it makes it really hard to compare and differentiate.
Yeah,
I mean, like you said, they're very nuanced, but there is a difference when you. compare them back to back if you have them to test out, back to back.
Yeah. I think that's where the NF line in particular, not to just keep talking about it, I do think it has a differentiator than a lot of the other full foam paddles because that notched foam locking system is unique to Honolulu. Like I think they've protected that, and so it is unique, especially if you're looking for a firm feel on your ball contact. So if you're used to honeycomb, that like you get that power boost, but with your short game, pretty similar in my opinion. And then we get into the ones that are more propulsive, and then I feel some of that nuance is lost in the short game. I think it then is about the dwell and how it impacts the power game, and that's what we're going to be talking about later because I know you've been hitting with a lot of those. But before we do that, I wanted to just highlight I've been putting some time on this Ruby Pro. Yes, yes, yes. I know your freaking dust would be just right here, but I like to test all the spots. See if there are dead spots. And this thing, it doesn't have dead spots. This everywhere you hit with this ball feels great, or with this paddle feels great. The 12 millimeter cells, super unique. Like I think 6-0, like having skipped Gen 3 and perfected their take on a Gen 2, although I do think it's arguable if this is Gen 2 because it has some enhancements like that makes it kind of Gen 2.5, I think. I think they've really made a really fun all court paddle. I think this has to be called all court in the spectrum we have now, but this would have been a power paddle last year for sure. But I think it's all court, got tons of power but you need to be able to mine it from it. It's not going to be like an automatic. This is a manual shift. But the 12 millimeter cells, haven't ever seen another paddle. Really like it. It holds onto the ball, and then you can throw it off. It's not necessarily propelled off like we've been talking about. You can throw it off though. It's just a lot of fun. The texture, that diamond texture is insane. You can grab and add your spin. You can place it wherever. And then I found out something else interesting that I don't think I highlighted already. And it's that the Ruby Pro is utilizing that 45-degree orientation, which came to the forefront with Franklin, and I did a whole review on Franklin C45, but I still stand by like that orientation allows for some special kind of grab and spin. But what's interesting, and I'm pretty certain that 45-degree orientation though is with their Aramid layer. And so this has the diamond texture, top layer of Aramid fiber, two middle layers of fiberglass with a bottom layer of carbon fiber, and then that layer of what they're calling power gel, which I'm still not exactly sure what that is. But because this is more of a traditional Gen 2 build, you really get the nuance of that face layup. And I'm typically not someone that likes many layers in the face, but I think they've really created a very unique combo that's a lot of fun. And so this is now officially going to be the first one that comes out. It should be coming out this Sunday, and my understanding is it's going to be $225. I don't know if that's before or after promo code, but promo code Matthew K is set up with 6-0. I am working on a full review, but I just had to share that because I don't know if my video is going to be done, and I really enjoy this paddle. I know you got a few hits in it. As someone that's more power oriented, did you have any thoughts? Did all this stand out to you, or is it just me, this guy, this little soft hitter that's just
No,
trying to do kitchen game?
I agree. I definitely agree with you with the feel of this paddle. Number one, the first thing that stands out if you ever see this in person is the glitter effect of the the grit in the sun. It's actually really nice. It is probably one of the grittiest paddles I've ever felt. I've never felt the Yolas, the ones where people were like, sticking to their shirts. But I'm pretty sure if you really wanted to, this would stick to your shirt. But yeah, I hope it's as durable as they say it is, because that would be awesome. The paddle is definitely on the softer side, and probably because it's due to the 12 millimeter cells. And I think this is a thinner paddle, right? Or do you know if it's 16 millimeters?
This is 14 millimeters,
14.
and to my
But
knowledge, that's what they're sticking with.
it because of the 12 millimeter cells, it really does feel like a thicker paddle. Um, it definitely is all court, like I said, like you said. But I noticed that there's power when you put effort into your swing. But for pops, it doesn't really have too much pop. It really cradles the ball. I remember
Ooh,
when I was dinking, and trying to catch kind of counter a speed up, um, the ball would kind of just die. It doesn't really pop back at your opponent. But for a control player, that might be
well,
something
I
you might
think
want.
yeah, I think cradle is a better word than die.
Cradle sounds
I
better.
th-
Yeah. It
yeah,
absorbs it
but
though, but it doesn't return. It doesn't pop.
right,
But there is
yeah. I
power.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you want that propulsiveness, the foam paddles are killing in
Yeah.
that department.
Yeah.
If you want that propulsiveness with honeycomb, that's when you get those over compressed paddles.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
and I think I don't know, really enjoying this. I really have enjoyed going back to honeycomb after doing so much foam testing, and so I definitely think there's a market for this. Like it's got like foam paddle. I mean, it's not a cheap paddle, but it's super unique. And I think if you're gonna uh, be up in there in that price, you gotta be unique. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I really liked it. Which brings me to some more paddle news, Wilson. I don't even know if you know this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The, the internet probably knows by now, but you see this thing here?
Thrive. Fury.
Thrive, Thrive Fury, my customized, got some Bodhi tungsten, got my oh come
Is
on
that flick
guys, zoom in.
weight? Flick?
Flick weight, 3 grams, the lightest weight. I don't know if you can get another any more handle weight. I think they might be the only one that does 3 grams. I don't believe Pickleball Effect does 3 grams. I'm not sure if Slice does. And I how I only like to add a little bit. Um, So this we're doing a giveaway. Don't forget. So check that review out. Done a whole video on this one, but dude, it's just been announced they're doing an elongated version,
Nice.
and so I got some info. I thought I'd share it real quick, but it's gonna be that 15.5 millimeter thickness.
Hmm.
It's pretty much all the same on the inside, design wise. Of course, the shape's different, being elongated. Uh, and there is a change, though. There is a change. Well, I'll just highlight. It's going to have a target 115 to 118 swing weight and a target 6.15 to 6.3 twist weight and a target 7.8 to 8.1 ounce static weight. And don't forget, Thrive's the company where you can select your swing weight. And I did like how they highlighted it is cold press plus thermoformed, because that's something that got revealed quite a bit, even I think to some of the shock of some of the big reviewers on the Carbon Waves call. Is I think there's been some miscommunication from companies about when things are thermoformed. It's become some things are heat sealed, some things are thermoform press. So I think thermoform has become sort of a blanket term for not just cold press, but they are highlighting it's cold plus thermoformed. But it's still got that internal weighting system. But I believe they are changing the foam. I'm a little confused about it. They're switching from the standard EVA part. They're switching to a TPE foam, which they're claiming will give a softer touch, more connected feedback, and superior control through contact. And I'm not sure, I don't have it in my notes if that's the way this one was. I feel that since they're saying it's upgraded, there's been a change. But yeah, that's the change.
It's funny that you brought this up because I had a little tournament over the weekend, and one of the open players that I was playing against was playing with a Thrive Fury, but I wasn't aware what it was. But I was like, it doesn't look like the hybrid shape, and it was a little more squared. It was a little more longer, and I'm like, oh, they must. For just a moment, I thought I was like, oh, they must be coming out with an elongated, and that thing hit
Well,
just as hard, and it sounded just like the Fury, the one that we have right now. So I'm excited to see the elongated version.
oh, well,
Yeah,
man, you knew before me then. We
I
should also
you knew about it, but I mean, I wasn't really aware. I just saw him like, okay. I didn't know
we
what it
we should
was.
also we should also highlight to folks, and so don't forget this is Gen 3 Honeycomb with a diving board configuration. But let's just tell folks the real. All right?
Mm.
I saw you hitting with this paddle next to me at a game, going crack, 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 and then I get it, and I can't get the dang sound. So and then Wilson turns to me and just says, "Matthew, you're just not hitting the sweet spot." And so, all right, guys, but see, I'm making that sacrifice for the community because everyone wants to know how stable the paddle feels. So one day I'll hit that more than once. But yeah, these things crack. I think it's a great power paddle, and it's kind of hard to like. I think that's definitely a power paddle. And so I really am excited for you in particular to get to hit with the elongated version. But that's not the only thing that's happening. Did you hear this news? Did you hear this?
What
The
news?
Yola?
Uh-uh.
The Yola news? You ain't hear the Yola news?
Let me. I'm not even sure. Are they the dual certified paddles?
Yes, that's all the
Oh.
Yola news. So I don't have one, but so this is a Pro 4 from Yola, and so this is USAP certified. The Gen 3 honeycomb paddle that they had prior was this 3S paddle. Although there's some controversy with those, they were not USAP approved. Now they've released a version called the 3S Dual, both USAP and UPA approved. I've done some sleuthing. It seems the change, other than like getting a cooler look, the new version maybe has some less grit, is what I'm hearing. But of course we all know that top layer grit does wear off on a paddle rather quickly. And what I've been able to surmise is it plays very similarly to the original, but now it is dual approved. And basically that's kind of like a Pro 4, except like it doesn't have it doesn't have that foam enhancement down on the bottom shoulders that the Pro 4 line has. And then I believe the Pro 4s have hard edge foam, and if the 3S lines do, it is not as big of a channel. And so it's basically the 3S's are like you have just the horseshoe of the EVA honeycomb diving board, so very propulsive. You can literally see that. And then of course, so the Pro 4 lines have these other bits, which I think kind of make them a little more controllable, but keeping all the power. And what's interesting is, so they're not doing codes, I don't think, for that line. Try my link. That will help the channel. I don't know if it helps get a discount or not. But Yola was getting quizzed on the 3S page about what the heck's the difference. Because now they got two Gen 3 lines going at the same time, right? Pretty interesting, right? Right? Am I the only one that thinks this is interesting? Wilson, do you think this is interesting?
Yeah, it's kind of eating into their own market, you know? I don't
Well,
know.
okay, I'll get to that, but yeah. So they commented on someone's question regarding the tech difference, and so they're claiming they're saying the 3S Dual and the Pro 4 have the propulsion core for longer dwell and that explosive power. The Pro 4 also has TFP to decrease vibrations and increase the paddle's sweet spot. And I think so that's got those extra foam enhancements. And then
Around
the
the
play
neck,
difference,
right?
they comment that around the throat,
The
yeah.
throat.
Yeah, it depends. Like some folks call it the neck. The cheeks.
The
I think
cheeks.
that's what our friends over on Pursuit's channel, Pickleball etc. is trying to push this idea of this is the face, these are the cheeks. But yeah, I don't know if that'll catch on. But I don't know if it's just they're referencing that or if it's also that the Pro 4s have the foam on the outer foam. It looks like a bit thicker channel, but it has extra foam enhancements that the 3S line doesn't. But the play differences they're saying is the 3S Dual gives players, they're calling a complete feeling of the ball's impact, while the Pro 4 absorbs vibrations for refined feel. So what that means, complete feeling versus refined feel,
Maybe stiffer
yeah.
and softer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I
We'll
would
see.
say based off the design, I haven't played a lot with the 3S's, but off design, I would say the 3S's the ball is gonna sink in more and have more dramatic propulsion. And so some tennis players on the deeper strokes, the harder strokes, I could see thinking they feel the ball more on the drives. And then the Pro 4s, which I'm way more familiar with, absorbed vibrations, sure, I could buy that. Refined feel, I think means maybe like slightly more controllable. That
Hmm.
propulsive effect is dampened, is what I would translate that as. But what's interesting is the OG 3S lines, which are not dual approved, are on sale for $200, and they're usually priced at 260. So they're already discounted compared to Pro 4s, but the OGs are on sale for 200.
For
But
200
dude,
bucks, but for 170, you could get a Honolulu.
fair enough, fair enough. But look at this, guys. Look at this. What are you oh, what's that thing they're always are you a Honolulu shill, Wilson? But anyway, yeah, well, so 200 is like, that's not bad for a Yola, to be honest, but they're now pricing the dual at 200
Oh,
default. So I don't know why anyone would buy an OG unless they wanted the extra grit and when you could get the updated one that's dual approved. But $200, I like to see prices coming down, which
yeah.
is what I think Carbon should have done in their release. So yeah, that's I thought pretty interesting news. So that's kind of my paddle news. My paddle news. Why the heck was the J3NF overlooked? Don't sit on the RubyPro just because it's not a foam paddle. And then keep your eyes peeled. ThriveFury is coming out with Elongated. And then that's my take on the Yola 3S Dual. So paddle news is over, Wilson. And you know what that means?
What does that mean?
It means I get to shut up so all the commenters can be like, thanks, Matthew. 33 minutes in, you finally were quiet and let Wilson talk. And that brings us to our next section. What are we testing right now? This is presented by our friends over at SwiftNet. If you're looking for the best portable pickleball net, check out SwiftNet. Promo code MatthewK will get you a discount. If you want something made out of aerospace grade carbon fiber, if you think you're going to have to make a rocket ship out of your pickleball net, this is the one to buy. All right, and that brings us, I want to start. Finally, the big reviewers, they are catching on. They are hitting with the Luz paddles. And so
Yeah.
I know you've been putting some time. You've been hitting with the Tornazo, right?
Yeah, I've been actually hitting with all three. All three. So they got the Gen 3 Canon. They're most affordable. And then they also have their foam core paddles, the Inferno and Tornazo. Um, Yeah, so they're actually all really great paddles. They are US, they're dual certified, one of the few paddles that are actually dual certified. And I'm gonna have to say they're really good. If I had to pick one, it would be the more powerful Inferno right here. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I've grown to really like the colorway. Yeah, so
It is pretty.
it is. Um, Yeah, one thing you'll notice though, it's a very loud paddle. It's very hollow feeling versus this one, the Tornazo. The Tornazo, I would say, is a little toned down, a little more controllable. This one is just a beast in the power category. It's hollow sounding, it's loud, but it really does. For lack of a better term, it does cradle the ball. It does. You still have some pretty good control with this. After testing this one for a few hours, I really go and I went back to this one. I really do enjoy the Inferno more. Yeah,
All right, but let me interrupt
yeah,
because I'll just highlight. So it's interesting. So you think the Inferno is more powerful
hmm
than the Tornazo?
yeah,
Okay. And yeah, so the Inferno, both of those, Tornazo and Inferno, are floating foam cores. The biggest difference is the Inferno is using this. I don't know if another paddle is using it. Micro porous foaming core, whereas the Tornazo is using that PBAS, their take on that super soft, bouncy PBA foam. And
hmm
so I think what you just said kind of makes sense.
For
Um,
some reason, before we got this one to test out, I thought this would be more powerful than this one. But no, this one would be more on the control side. Note they're both very powerful paddles, but this one is more the Tornazo is definitely more in the control side than the Inferno.
do you think it's because like you have that softer foam allows you all extra dwell to do shaping, or is it
Maybe.
what? Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going by how I feel, right? I don't actually know the actual makeup, like the whole like the technology behind it, but
Okay,
like
so
you
how does the
mm.
Inferno feel, and how does the Tornazo? Just highlight that
So
again. I know you.
this one
Yeah.
is very hollow sounding. It sounds like a broken paddle, like a core crush paddle. Honestly, it feels
Okay.
like a core crush paddle too. Uh, so this one,
Dang.
it does, I swear. And you've seen me play with a core crush 11624, and you hate me for it.
I do
But
not enjoy it.
this one is basically that, but not broken.
Well,
This
how's the
one.
sweet spot?
This one's
How's the sweet
great.
spot?
This one's really good. And right now I'm still using it in its original state. No weights or anything. I'm going to be probably adding some here. But the sweet spot's really good. This one
Because
is more of a
that's why I don't like you playing with the core crush, because you get that power, but if you miss hit, you're
just
freaking
it
screwing up. And so I think if the Inferno gives you core crush power, but
hmm
still a big sweet spot,
hmm
I mean that's pretty lethal for your particular
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, so I would say this one's more like a hollow and stiff, like loud sounding, and this one's more muted and softer. Or if you like the more softer feeling, this is a stiffer feeling. This is softer feeling. This is a little more powerful. This is a little more controllable. If that
Okay,
makes sense,
so
I don't know.
the
Mm.
Inferno is more powerful. The Tornazo is a little more controllable, but
Yeah,
both
control,
are power
power.
paddles.
Yeah, yeah. But these. Do you have the prices on these?
I do. So both of those are about 195 bucks after promo code Matthew
Yeah.
K.
So these aren't the cheapest, but I think they're definitely worth it. The warranty on these are a year. I looked that up, even if you haven't yet.
Oh,
Um, and what's interesting too is that so these are $190. This is their Gen 3 take, the Canon, which I am very actually I was a lot of people tried it and they really liked it at the park. This one is 90 or $99 or something like that
this
after
one
code.
is This one after code is $93 after
There you
promo
go.
code Matthew K. But listen,
And,
there's news though. There's news.
what's the news?
Are you ready?
I thought you said the news was
For about
over.
No. There's news about this. For about $10 more, for a little bit, around $10 more, you can get the Kung Fu Panda version.
I was just gonna say
They-
that. That one looks awesome.
But that IP must be pricey because it's $10 more per paddle. But you can get a Kung Fu Panda cannon.
That one looks pretty cool.
So yeah,
I just recently saw though. I don't know if these are all like properly licensed IPs, but they also have a minion one, which is black and yellow with minions on it. You might want to check that one out too. But you know,
I bet you can't mess with Disney. So
yeah, that's true.
I have a feeling. I don't know how they did it, but I feel even. I think they're a China-based company. I
Yeah.
feel they are. You don't mess with Mickey. Like so, I have a feeling it was done.
Yeah.
Or I guess Minions though is not Disney. But anyway, we're getting into industry talk right now.
But one thing though, this Gen 3 paddle feels just like a Yola Pro 4, but it also has a 1-year warranty. Granted, like you said, even the website's a little funky. It's probably a Chinese-based vendor or company, and I don't know how good they are with warranty claims.
Yeah.
But
Time will tell.
yeah, all of these paddles have a 1-year warranty. I don't think these will have any issues with any. The quality is pretty good, but this one, Gen 3 with a 1-year warranty, you don't get that too much. So and $93. So what are you gonna do about that?
I think it's one to definitely take a gamble on.
Side note too. Sorry, Matt, for taking your
No.
your talking time.
This is your section. No, I
that's
just
true,
wanted
that's
to
true.
interrupt with the. I had looked up all the prices.
So recently, there were some PPA issues with sponsored pros not being able to play with their sponsors' paddles because of UPA issues or approvals, something like that. I saw a lot of the guys actually using Luz paddles. Um, Specifically, I saw Chris Hayworth, one of the higher level singles players. He was using the Luz Cannon, which is cool, and it's
Interesting.
crazy. You guys should be able to. I think it was like 2 tournaments ago. I don't remember which one, but today or yesterday in mixed doubles, I saw Roscoe Bellamy. He was using the Tornazo, so that was kind
Dang.
of cool.
Yeah,
Um,
those are
so
some high profile uh like
pro players, yeah.
yeah, but
Um,
like those are some good endorsements if they're using them in actual competitive play.
exactly. So it must mean something, but they I think they use markers and stuff to like black out these things
I
like
bet.
a
Yeah.
Sharpie, but it's hard to miss this H when it's really sunny. You might not be able to see mine, but if you look at Matt's or something, you can see this little the shape. You can totally tell that it's a Luz paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not sure if you saw these in any of the matches you were watching, but Diadem,
Yeah.
the Edge BluCore, I believe you've been hitting with some of those. So up top, so these just came out. You got 4 versions, 2 different shapes. Each of those shapes has 2 thicknesses. These are gonna put you back $222 after promo code Matthew K. So we're talking closer to the higher end next gen or foam paddles from Luz. Yeah, so you've hit with these 18K carbon, very unique construction. You can even see the blue core. They got it all over the place
I thought this
in the
was pretty cool
handle.
when you get to see the core and the handle and everything underneath with the
Yeah,
clear
and then you see
butt cap.
they got the little dampeners. You
Yeah.
can see like this thing is freaking. Pretty soon it's gonna be transparent. You're gonna see the whole thing. But all
Who
right,
needs
you can hit with
X-rays
them.
when they're clear?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. What do you think?
Yeah, so these are really good. These are on the lower end of the power spectrum, but I would say they are still very powerful. They're definitely much more powerful than the carbon wave line.
Okay.
One thing I noticed though, first thing though, is I have the Pro line, which is I guess, elongated, I believe.
Yes.
So the 14 paddle, what was this? The Pro 14. It's surprisingly flexible. When I'm hitting, I played doubles and singles with this the other day, and I don't know, maybe it's just mental, maybe it's just really that soft, but I feel it flexing. So it
Interesting.
was really interesting. So it was not very powerful. I had a hard time getting the ball to really go deep when I'm doing baseline drives, but because it's a 14 millimeter thickness paddle, at the net it was fine. It was great. Hand speed is fine. It was very controllable, but yeah, this one I noticed that it was really flexible. It felt really soft and flexy. And then here
Interesting.
is the Pro 16, my uh, my usual thickness that I'm used to. This one definitely has the power and the drive. This one's stiffer feeling than this one, the 14, which is weird, right? Usually
Okay.
14 millimeter thin paddles tend to be stiffer or less
I
flexible
I I think that's changing with the next gen builds,
with
to be
foam and
honest.
stuff, right?
I even noticed that with the Pro 4s. Like I
Mm.
thought the Agassi 14 millimeter was less propulsive. And that's not even a full foam
Uh-huh.
paddle,
Yeah,
but I thought it was less propulsive. And I think it's these thicker foams
I
are.
see.
It's not like thicker honeycomb.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, so it's a little different, but there is definitely power in the Pro 16. Um, One thing I noticed though that the pop on both of them are on the low end. So you got to really the power is good, but the pop is not quite there, which could be a good thing because when you're at the net and you're doing hand battles, you're less likely to pop up with these. So yeah, these are really interesting. They are powerful. I never got to try the original Blue Core, the Blue Core Warrior. Is that right?
I
Um,
believe so.
that one, I haven't heard too much about it, but I've been told that it was on the lower end of the power spectrum. These would probably be an upgrade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have the foam enhancements,
Mhm.
and so compare. I don't think
I think
the
it's a
previous
solid
Blue Core.
piece in the
I'm
original
pretty
Blue Core,
sure,
but this one has
but I
these
think
have the horseshoes,
yeah,
the horseshoe
and
foam.
I personally think it's smart though to bring a less poppy foam paddle to market because
Yeah,
there are a lot of budget poppy powerful
yeah,
foam paddles
but
now. I think
this this one definitely, yeah, these edge paddles, they do have the power, but they're really toned down on the pop. So if that is what you want power and low pop, this is something you might want to check out.
all right, all right. Well, on that, I was hitting with something, Wilson. I know you got a few hits, but
Oh yeah.
I was hanging on to this one. This is the SypikAvatar paddle. So
Hmm.
this is the one QD plays with. And I've been getting some more hits on this one. Um, and I don't know. I think I this definitely feels a little heavier
Hmm.
in the hands than a lot of the paddles I've been testing out. And I also did have a little issue. I think its grip. I don't think I had wrapped it quite big enough, so I think I was squeezing too hard in one session, and I've since done one more over grip, and I'm really enjoying it. It is really fun to place with this paddle. Place your shots. That's the thing that I really noticed. Um, and I definitely think it's unique. I'm hitting with more and more foam paddles, and so I'd be curious since you've hit with even more than me at this point. I don't know if you got enough hits to recall,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a fun paddle. For me, you can really shape in place. and they are kind of hard to get out here. These are big in Vietnam, but they don't really do U.S. retail yet. But my friends over at Spinwave Pickleball, I'll be sure to leave a link. If you're interested in one of these have a sticker price of $280, but you can get 10% off with promo code Matthew K. Or you can I've been seeing folks are doing Instagram to do that, but this is a storefront with the website Spinwave Pickleball. But I'm actually going to be doing a video on this one, and I do like the shape. It is a little heavier, but what was your take? I know you got some hits.
Yeah, it's a great solid paddle. It's one thing though I must say though when I tried that the SypikAvatar is that it's really similar to another paddle, the the Luz
Ooh,
Tornazo.
okay,
So yes, like I said, this one's still around $190, but still $100 cheaper than the Avatar, and it's a little easier to get.
yeah,
So I would like to see your take on it in the next time we
yeah,
play. I want to see you compare the two. Um, they
yes,
they both feel really nice. They're both on the definitely power paddles, but they are very I guess they're very dense. They're very solid. It's not like
firm, yeah,
firm.
yeah,
So they have good power and control at the same time. I think they're great. You can really shape the ball, like you said, with the Avatar. And same with this one. It's not like crazy poppy like the what was it, the Inferno. This one is, it might be a little too poppy for some people, and pop-ups will happen. But I think the Avatar and this Tornado are something in between. They're a little more toned down, but still powerful. I think if you don't get it, can't get your hands on an Avatar, this might be something you might want to check out. I don't know.
yeah. And I'm planning. I mean, I actually kind of have my video schedule set because I am behind, and I'm in works in progress on a couple different reviews. But I do plan to do a Luz breakdown,
Yeah.
comparing the three next gens. But hopefully, you sharing your experience helps people as well. And yeah, let me know down in the comments. So, would a video like that be helpful? Will you guys click on it and watch it, or will I be doing it for no reason? But yeah, the Avatar is a fun paddle. If you can get one, yeah, it's fun. And now to another fun paddle. I believe you've been hitting with the Selkirk Boomstick. Is that right?
Yes, I have. There it is. This
All
one,
right, folks. You've been waiting for this. You've been waiting. Matthew K. Pickleball, the YouTube channel, is covering Selkirk and the Boomstick. Wilson, what is the story?
yeah, so this one definitely takes the podium or whatever for power and pop. This thing, I was just launching serves left and right no matter what. But once I got it dialed in, the grit and the Infinigrit really does help it stay in the court. I played doubles and singles with this. I think it really shined the most in doubles because you can really put away any pop-ups at the front. It did take some time though for me to get the hang of the my own pop-ups because it's really poppy.
Okay.
It really just launches the ball. Um, but it's really fun, and I could see why
Uh,
people really are drawn to this. But I'm gonna have to say though, I could see how with a little weight from like the Rhombus or even the Vadix, the $100 paddles, I could see how people are saying that they could get something similar to this feeling.
okay.
Especially the Rhombus R3 that we were demoing or testing. Um, it basically felt the same without the weight. I think if we were to add some sort of weighting to the Rhombus, You could really get something probably 90-95% to this
Okay.
boomstick. Um,
I mean, it's tough because
it's tough. It's tough.
it's the boomstick's $333,
Yeah, that's kind of hard
and
to swallow then.
after yeah, it's a bitter pill, and after promo code, and my codes for them are different for Selkirk. It's INF like influencer, INF hyphen Matthew K. If you end up wanting to go Selkirk and get in on the boomstick life, which is currently, I interviewed Chris Olson over at Pickleball Studio, and that's his Desert Island pick. If you haven't watched that convo, definitely watch. I'll try to leave a link here. But if you use code INF hyphen Matthew K, you get a $40 gift card for your next Selkirk purchase. So yeah, 333 with a gift card compared to the Quanta with from Rhombus for about $100 after promo code Matthew
Hmm.
K. Then you're gonna buy some weight. You'd have to know how to customize though. Still,
Yeah. So this one is it's definitely fun to play with. Um, but I
okay.
think it's like you said, like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow. $333.
But you want to
Uh,
know something interesting, Wilson?
mm,
I was chatting with someone. I did go before I totally surrendered to my work mayhem. I was talking to a retiree at Open Play, and
uh-huh.
he was trying to upgrade his paddles, and he was playing with like an old school Ben Johns paddle.
Hmm.
And I was telling him about the Honolulu J2H Plus compared the to the Yola Pro 4s because he's coming from like not a super powerful paddle. And I was like thinking that would suggesting like that would be kind of like maybe a potentially better transition to a next gen paddle. But and then I was like, and then it's a lot cheaper than the Yola Pro 4s. And then he's like, I don't care about price. I just want the best. And it's so like some people price isn't everything. Like these
But
folks with the Roth IRAs that are retired and just got those dividends coming in,
I'm gonna have
like
to
they
say
don't
it's
care.
just because it's the most expensive, it's not necessarily the best. I think the best option is to try out the pedals, you know? It really
Right.
makes a difference, especially if you're gonna go out and spend $300 on a paddle. You should at least try to demo it before making
Yeah.
that purchase.
Oh,
There are a lot of
I hear
options out
you.
there, guys.
There are a lot of options, but some folks don't care about the price. Is that's the only
That's
that sort of surprised me. But some folks don't care. Um, and then I will point out if you buy from Pickleball Central, and I'll leave a link down there. Their paddles you get the 30-day test drive with them, and
mm,
that's a pretty nice little perk. If you buy from them as opposed directly. I don't know what the return policy off the top of my head is for Selkirk, but all right. So you like the
but
boomstick, but you can't really fathom that price
yeah,
tag. Is that
it's
what you're
like,
saying?
like from the $100 paddles, as you step up to the 150, $170 paddles like the Honolulus, you notice a pretty big jump. I noticed that the 150 to $200 paddles, there is a nice increase in quality and feel compared to the $100 paddles. However, I think from the 200, $200 paddles up to the $333 paddles, it was even a smaller difference. If you
Yeah,
know what I'm trying to say.
I
Like
know what you're
it,
saying. I also think the Selkirk Labs program, which is
uh,
what the boomstick is from, has gotten misunderstood a little bit. Like it used to be a completely different thing. It used to be a
mm,
different website, but now Selkirk is trying to fold it all in. But initially, the labs programs, my understanding is they perceived it as basically like the way the car industry looks at like concept cars or whatnot, except
mm,
you could buy in and have like the future and you could go play with it at open play, but it wasn't, and so that price point was like an aspirational price point. They wanted it to be like this small thing, but then reviewers get them, they talk about them, and it's like this is the best thing since sliced bread. And so now they have to deal with price and people talking about it. And so I wonder if they're going to maintain that 333
You
moving
know, that's a
forward.
pretty good point because I read on the Selkirk site that they're not planning on um, turning the boomstick into a standard Selkirk paddle. They're going to keep it as a Labs paddle. So do you think that
So
means that they're going to keep it at $333? You know, that's a
so I don't know because the way it used to work is a labs paddle would get released, that folks would try out the technology, and then that technology would sometimes trickle down into the consumer facing lines. And so yeah, it sounds like maybe they're wanting to do like the Porsches and just keep that price point. It definitely seems like I mean now I'm backtracking a little bit. Like I was thinking they weren't liking the pushback on the price, but I do see them at open play.
they're everywhere.
And
I have to
so
say, they're
yeah,
everywhere.
so like some people want the freaking designer car. Some people want the designer watch. So
Mhm.
if that's the lane, I mean, they'd be carving a lane for themselves. Like, I think, and this goes back to our conversation we had about the carbon true foam waves. Like, I think they should have lowered the price. But we're talking about how well they want to live in the price point of the Yolas, of the Selkirks, of the, the paddles we're seeing on the pro circuit. And so, like, I do think there is like the luxury paddle space. And
Yeah.
so maybe that's they're trying to live in that. Folks, let us know down what in the comments. What do you think? Are you a luxury paddle purchaser? Are you a Louis Vuitton paddle owner? Like, let us know. Is there space for that? Ultimately, like a paddle is supposed to be a utilitarian object, right?
Hmm.
It's a purpose-driven object. It's something that doesn't last forever, especially in our industry. It is equipment, right? But there's status in pickleball now that like so many people are playing it. You're showing up. Like maybe people do want like the fancy handbag, like when they show up. I'm not sure, um, but yeah, that's kind of a bummer though if they're not
Hmm.
bringing the tech into their lower price lines.
Hmm.
But Selkirk's an interesting company. We're gonna be talking about them more on the channel and maybe a little bit more on this pod if we have time, because I did want to, because I don't know when I'm gonna get any more videos up on this channel. So we might go a little bit longer than normal, folks. I know that one guy over on Facebook doesn't like that, but I'm sorry.
I think
But
you just have to insert some play footage at the end, just like tack it
yeah,
on.
no, this was a different guy upset with me. They said someone said your podcasts are as long as boring business meetings, and I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry you have such boring meetings. That this is the length they are, and that was on a shorter one, by the way. But I wanted to get your take on. I know you've been hitting with the B&B Locos, bread and butter.
Oh yeah.
They're doing their own floating foam, which seems pretty similar to the Boomstick, except after promo code Matthew K, theirs is only $179. So they're definitely trying to price it to be more competitive, I feel. And the final pre-order, if you're watching this now, the final pre-order has already kicked off. And so if you don't order now, you're gonna have to wait till they get their big batch. So just FYI, if you're really wanting to get in on this. So what's the deal?
Um,
B&B Loco, you've gotten to hit. It's coming in three shapes, and Wilson has been hitting with the elongated, but you got whatever shape you want. Whatever
yeah,
shape you want, you got it.
I do like the bread and butters marketing. Love it. I love the color schemes and everything. Also, I like the fact that they have so many options, right? The standard, the hybrid, and the elongated for everybody's preferences. But this was my go-to over the weekend at my weekend tournament. Initially didn't like it. I felt like the sweet spot was small. It wasn't that powerful. I was expecting something really powerful. I mean, it's called the Loco, right? But thankfully, I got to play with this before the tournament, a day or two before the tournament, because once it kind of broke in, you know, a side note, foam does break in a little bit. Um, it really opened up. The sweet spot got better. There was a little more pop and power. Um, and that grit is like crazy. I'm gonna have to say this was a little below the Honolulu's, but it's quite up there.
All right, folks,
Um,
listen, listen.
yeah,
That's the grit.
it's a gritty one. This one, and I think in other reviewers I heard, this one is definitely it's just a step lower than the power in the Selkirk Boomstick. So this might be another contender for $179. Yeah, so I think you might be seeing me play with this one primarily for the time being, unless I'm testing out some other paddles.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it was the Packle Evo for a little while, but I think I might change to this one.
All right, folks. Speak Pickleball is not asking co-host Wilson for his picks, but he has been maining that Packle paddle, which we've covered quite a bit, and they
Hmm.
do have a new paddle coming. But as of now, it seems like B&B with the Loco might have unseated that, and it might. Are you saying it might be your main? Is
It
that your
is
pick for now?
after this weekend, and some singles with it as well. I think I'm gonna have to comfortably say it is my main right now.
Wow,
Yeah,
very cool.
and that's even
And I like that.
that that is with this here. I after playing with this, I'm still preferring the Loco. So I don't know, guys. 333
All right.
or 179, you know? You guys decide.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. Mr. Wilson has picked crazy over the boom. Get Loco. Keep the dynamite in the bag. That
Yeah.
is Wilson's pick. And yeah, I mean, 179 after promo code Matthew K. Like, I do think that is becoming like the ceiling of like where I probably feel comfortable recommending
Mhm.
price. Like, it's close to it. It's like that is like I feel getting it to that point is pretty solid. And before we move on, I actually had one other thing I wanted to highlight, which is Gherkin has released a new line. They're on pre-order. This is a Gen 3 paddle. I've been hitting with the hybrid. You've been hitting with the elongated. This is kind of unique. Okay, after promo code Matthew K, they're about 121 bucks, but it's a unique build. I don't have like an X-ray, but it seems the foam enhancements. It's like semi-floating. It's definitely not diving board, but there's some modified Gen 3 construction is what they're calling it. A semi-floating core with a foam ring. But the pictures I've seen, it's there's foam here, foam here, foam here, and foam here, but it's sectioned.
Mm.
Um, and it's a carbon fiber, fiberglass, carbon fiber layup, 3 layers. Typically my preference. And what's unique though, I believe this is the only Gen 3 paddle I know of that has 10 millimeter diameter cells. And so we were talking about the Ruby Pro with those bigger cells, um, but uh, but that's interesting. I don't know if I felt that dwell as much in this kind of build, but it's obviously having an impact. And what my experience was, and clock what yours is. Don't let me impact what you're about to say. This felt like a very beefy Gen 3 paddle. Um, very it felt powerful. It felt a little heavy. And I do have some stats. So this one here is the hybrid. Um, the it's the average weight is a target of 7.9, but I do believe this is a pre-production unit. I don't know if that's what this landed at, but then it's got a 111 swing weight and an average twist weight at 6.4, whereas the standard is same weight but a 108 swing weight and a 6.7 twist weight. And then yours, the elongated, is a little heavier at 8 ounces, 116 swing weight. Holy smoke, I need to hear about that, with a 6.3 target twist weight. So all kind of, so sweet spot similar to mine, actually. But dude, what'd you think of it?
I liked it. It's middle of the ground on the power spectrum. It's not the most powerful. It's not like I wouldn't even the power and the pop did not surprise me. What I really liked though from the feel is how it absorbed or it muted everything, which I kind of enjoy sometimes. I don't like something that's too rigid and poppy at times, especially when you're under pressure in intense games. This was very controllable. But on full drives, I was able to get pretty good power out of it. Um, One thing like you said, it was 116 swing weight. I didn't really feel it overall. It felt pretty balanced. Even though it was like, I think you said it was 8 ounces, or that's what they're stating. Actually, there was a sticker on here. It was 8 ounces. Um,
Okay.
so it didn't really feel that heavy. It's overall, it's a really solid feeling, balanced paddle. Um, Definitely, I I did have a so it's like in the middle of the power spectrum, but during my warm-ups and in singles I did have a hard time going baseline to baseline. That's what I noticed.
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
but this is a gen 3, like you said. There may be some break in period. uh, Not like, foam paddles more or less play the same, with a little bit of break in, from new paddle to broken in paddle. But Gen 3s, like as you know, they really do break in after a little bit. I've only gotten maybe 3 to 5 hours on this, so maybe
Okay.
by hour 10, maybe it might feel a little different, but I'll let everyone know.
Yeah, and it's got a like the like floating cores.
Oh,
You're not
also,
gonna have that
I
propulsiveness.
think
So
10 millimeter cells, I think, if I am not mistaken, which is not uncommon. um, the 11624 Alpha Pros are 10 millimeter cells as well. Um,
okay, I think that's correct.
yeah.
Let us know in the comments if we're wrong, but that one is yeah. So that might be a good one to compare it to. I don't
Yeah.
know exactly how that core is oriented,
Mm.
um, but what did you think? Was the handle of this big to you?
Yeah. I would say it's probably four and a quarter, or maybe a little bigger than that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely thicker than it feels thicker than the Bread and Butter Loco, even though this one states that it is four and a quarter on their website. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
it
so I
does
don't know.
feel,
I don't know if that's because it's pre-production, but
yeah. Um,
yeah.
it was on the beefier side, but it wasn't anything too crazy. But now that you say it, it's like, huh, yeah, it is pretty big.
But and then for this paddle, I've been trying out. This is Lucci Supreme Overgrip, and I'm
Mm.
really liking these. This one isn't talked about nearly as much as Bodhi and some of the other overgrips, but they have so many lines to choose from, and I'm really liking this one. This is the Supreme.
Is it on the
It's
soft side,
probably
comfort side, or is it
yeah. I
slippery
would
tacky?
say it's not super tacky,
Mm.
but I'm pretty sensitive. It's not a dry grip by any means, but I like all of their colors. They have some unique colors. Like I haven't seen lavender. I thought it fit well with this paddle, and so check them out. I am set up with a promo code. Matthew K works over at Lucci, but yeah, they're not talked about very often at all. But they make some really good overgrips. All right, yeah, I'm excited to keep testing these out. I think Gherkin is a very cool company. And then and they started with that big silicone wrapped briny paddle, and now they've had some more traditional. But I think they're working on creating some really competitive stuff.
Side note, since it's October and it's, Halloween season, I was wondering how to say this. This is Wraith. Um, and I looked
I
it
think
up and
so.
yeah, it's well, according to Google. Uh, this is actually the presence of a ghostly image or a ghost after someone has just recently passed away. That's what it means.
Thank you, Wilson.
So,
Thank you.
sorry you can't sleep tonight, but I just wanted to point that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. My main audience are just people that are dealing with like sleep issues, and they turn the podcast on to just be bored to death, be bored to sleep. And now you just really disturbed folks. But all right, I know they want us to go. Wilson, I know we have some shoes to talk about. You want to do a speed round real quick?
Yeah, just a quick speed round. I
Here,
was able,
let me kick it off.
yeah.
Let me kick it off because you've got. We're gonna break down real fast for folks. We've been talking Selkirk. I want to break down all their shoes right now. 2.5 minutes. Stick with us. But Wilson's been testing out a pair. But first, I wanted to highlight Selkirk has their CourtStrike line. This is their budget line of shoes. These are $100, very cheap in my opinion for pickleball shoes. Promo code INF Matthew K will get you a $20 digital gift card. These have a 6-month sole warranty. This is my favorite colorway. This is old school basketball. I've reviewed these on the channel. I'll try to link a video that has the review in it if I can. And I am not a wide shoe wearer typically. I am sensitive to shoes that are narrow in the midsection, and I would say these kiss the foot that I'm sensitive to. So it's not too narrow, but if you need a wide shoe, I'm not sure these would work. But these are right on the edge of comfort for me. But I freaking love this look. This is my favorite freaking looking. I love the look of these. And now though, they for $20 more, you can get the CourtStrike Pro. And Wilson has been testing those out. So what do you think of those, Wilson?
Yeah, so these are the CourtStrike Pros. I think they're just a little more meshier version of the CourtStrikes. So these are $20 more. They also have the 6-month warranty, which I love because I go through shoes like no tomorrow because of the singles I play. Yeah, so my go-to shoes in tournaments and in general are the Asics Solution Speed 3s. And those things are super light. They're based off of running shoes. And they're light and fast and they're pretty nimble. They're really low to the ground. These these are pretty close to that. These are pretty low to the ground and they're relatively light. And in my opinion, though, they are actually pretty wide fitting. So if you guys have any wide foot bunion issues, you might want to check it out. Matthew and I may have different types
Well,
of
dang,
feet.
Wilson. How do we help people? So, wait, do you wear wide shoes like do you wear wide
I
shoes?
don't. So
Okay, so
I have a
you're
pretty
saying
standard leaning towards narrow foot with no no issues with bunions or anything. I would consider this pretty roomy. It's not like
roomy.
not like foot shaped or super wide, but I'm not really I, they're roomy enough where I my feet don't feel like they're bunched up. The Asics though, the ones that I do use, they're very tight. Although that is what I
Okay.
want though when I'm playing in a competitive environment.
Okay.
So there's that.
Got
So
it.
these are roomier than the Asics, but they're not very comparable because one is a speed shoe
Okay.
and this is more of I think this is more of an all-around shoe that could fit most people. The
Yeah,
Asics that I use
I definitely
are really tight.
I yeah, I definitely think they are roomy in the. All right, so they also come in other colors. I love the sandstone.
Uh,
I think they look awesome. And I would say you got a roomy toe box. They are not short shoes by any measure. Very roomy. So if you like the space, the only thing I was talking about so it sounds like we disagree. This section here on both the pros and the non-pros, I also kind of think they don't sit super low to the ground. You do feel grounded, but I would say this midsection right here, if you're super sensitive just in this area, that was the section I was saying is if you need that section to be wide, might be tricky. But you're saying for your shoe, what are you talking about for wide?
This area, like you said, it may be hard for people who are sensitive, but I like it here tight. I like it to be tight around here, just for the lockdown's sake. But I'm just
So
saying, like right
are
here,
these tight? Where I can't see,
oh,
put it in front of your face.
like you said,
No.
right here is a little too tight for you, right?
The midsection
The
is
midsection.
on the verge. Yeah, the middle.
But this part is not too bad. It doesn't bother me. I like it tight and I want it tight. As you can see, I
Okay.
use the back tie, the back hole to do a what they call a runner's knot so that I can secure my heel even more. So I get an even more lockdown feel here. However, I'm
Yeah,
just
I think
saying that,
lockdown. I would agree with that. And then, so
yeah,
what part were you saying was roomy?
I'm saying right here, the toe area, this whole
All
area,
right, then
yeah.
we're in agreement. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. You just didn't understand it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah,
just
they
stupid.
no. But yeah, they're great shoes. One super side note is just maybe nitpicky though. I feel like the collar is a little on the high side. They dig into the bottom of my ankle bone, I believe. This area, I wish it could dip a little more, but that might affect the lockdown. But yeah, this one kind of bothers my that the ankle bone a little bit. But that's just a preference. That's just a
Okay.
anatomical thing. Of course, my feet's different from
Yeah,
yours, different from
folks.
everyone else's.
Yeah, folks. That doesn't bother me. I don't know if that's helpful. One person it bothers, one person it doesn't. However, I said we were going to go through all the Selkirk shoes, Wilson. You
Awesome.
know what? There's more. There's more. So Selkirk just released. These are new. These are so last week we talked about Stand Plus recovery
Mhm.
shoes, which are super premium. This is Selkirk's take on recovery shoes. This is the Selkirk Sport Renew Pickleball Recovery Shoe. And after promo code INF hyphen Matthew K, for these you get a $10 gift card, and these are $60. However, I think so. This is a closed toe recovery shoe. Very pretty spongy. All that you can freaking run through mud and rinse them off with your hose, whatever. So this is like what you would wear. One of our friends wears recovery shoes after our sessions. Like you take off. In your case, it sounds like you wear really tight pickleball shoes. So
Yeah.
some folks want to get those off for their walk or the
I
drive
have
home.
to I have to unlace them
Okay, yeah.
after we play.
So these are the Renew recovery shoes, but I have an issue with them, Wilson.
What happened?
I think they size them wrong. So I have
They
gone.
look
So this I
gigantic.
wear. Yes. So this is size 10. I wear size 10 in all the Selkirk stuff. But
Line
these,
them up. Man, they're like sticking
yeah,
out by like a whole inch.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Hey, so I don't know. They might actually be the same footprint, but you have to remember these don't have the padding that this shoe has. This
Mm.
is the shell, and yeah, these are kind of hard for me to wear. They feel like a full size too big, with lots. I don't like sliding in my shoes. I guess even when I'm recovering, I don't want to slide. That's what I'm very sensitive to that, and so I would recommend if you're looking at these, you want to go half a size, maybe a size down. And I don't really have a way to test it because this is the only pair I got.
Mhm.
But it's really weird because I am actually a very big fan of Selkirk's Podium
Slide.
Pickleball Slide.
Uh,
And these are true fitting. These are fine, and these actually feel very secure with the way that they've done the midsection. You would like them because you like to feel secure.
Yeah.
So when you're getting all your medals, you could slip these on. And I really like these shoes. Also, they're cheaper. They're $40. If you use code INF-MatthewK, I actually don't know if you get anything. I couldn't figure it out. Try it and see. But these, I think, are an easy recommend. $40. Like, these are competing with certain kinds of Crocs. And I'm a fan of these. These are the PodiumPickleballSlides. And I think Selkirk needs to put a sizing guide for these because I think the fact that they aren't the same. Like, here's a better visual. So this one, I think, shows it. So these are, you see how it's lined up there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it really
Look at
sticks
how
out.
much,
Yeah.
look at how much overhang there is.
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So these, I think there must have been a manufacturing, like, I think there's a labeling error. I checked, like, because they only labeled them with, like, stickers.
Oh.
So I could
Yeah.
see maybe they got, like, switched up, like, at the factory. So, Selkirk, double check your batches. Make sure you're sending out the right sizes. Otherwise, I think you're going to have to deal with a lot of returns. But I do really like the others, the podium slides.
Just to go back real quick, the CourtStrike Pros, do you know if they get the $20 discount? No, credit for the future purchases as well.
For the Court Strikes non-pros, you get a $20 gift card. For the pros, also a $20 gift card, digital gift card,
Not
if you
bad.
use INF-MatthewK. Yeah,
That's not bad. I think
and
that's worth it.
I do think the big highlight is the 6 month sole warranty
Oh, yeah.
because a lot of brands are doing away with those. Even like some ASICs that you think might have the 6 month sole warranty, you got to check if they're honoring it. I don't wear ASICs anymore. I had a little bit of a issue with them. But yeah. So I think it's also nice if you're doing pickleball shoes, like they're smaller industry. You're gonna have a shot at like dealing with a real person, and I imagine Selkirk has solid customer service. So definitely worth checking out. We went through it. We did it. We covered all of Selkirk shoes. I think that's all of them. I have no idea. If there are more, let us know down in the comments. What should we check out? But CourtStrike Pro, SportRenewPickleballRecoveryShoe, and then the Podium Pickleball Slides. Do you have any recovery shoes?
Yeah, I actually wear Hoka slides, and there's other
Okay.
company called UFOs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are popular.
yeah. So I get those.
Those are pricey though.
They are.
Aren't those pricey?
They're definitely
Yeah.
more expensive
Yeah.
than the Selkirks. But
Yeah.
I they're great. Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, give the Podium Pickleball Slides a chance,
Hmm.
dude. All right, Wilson, I could give you a reprieve today. Do you want to do tip of the week? Do you want to make us better at pickleball?
Let's do it real quick. A quick one. Super
All
quick.
right. This is presented by BodhiPickleball. If you're looking for grips, if you're looking for tungsten, if you're looking for accessories, check out BodhiPickleball. Promo code Matthew K will get you the best price. All right, make us better at pickleball. What's the tip of the week?
All right. So, like I said, over the weekend I played an uh advanced leveled tournament, a local tournament, and there were some open players that were playing in my pool, and I'm so glad that it wasn't duper rated because not because of me, but because more open players were willing to come and play because their duper wouldn't be affected, right? But one thing I noticed, other than being
What do you mean open players to folks that don't know what that
so these
means?
are usually people who play for money. They're like pro am. They are, I would say, easily 5-0 plus. And one thing I noticed that what they did better than me was in the hand battles. And one thing I noticed is that when I start a hand battle or when they start a hand battle, after maybe 3 or 4 shots, I get beat. And one thing I noticed in my replay videos, I haven't posted it yet, but if you guys want to check it out, you can see how badly I get beaten by them. 3-11. Um, I what notice one thing is that they're really consistent at hitting straight or down and at my weak point, which is my dominant shoulder and dominant hip. So it gets me all jammed up and I pop it up and they put it away. What's new, right? So yeah, so my tip of the week is drill your hand battles. And when you're done warming up with dinks and drops and drives and stuff, right before you start the game, try doing some hand battles with your partner. One thing I noticed is that one helpful tool would be the lightning loop. It will really, if you use it in your training, you will definitely increase your hand speed. And I just I think I need to use it more or something. I keep getting beaten at hand battles. And yeah, so train and drill your hand battles. Aim for your opponent's dominant shoulder or hip or dominant side, so you get them all jammed up. And really focus on keeping the ball down or straight
Yeah,
at them. Don't pop it up and put it away, and have them and allow them to put it away. It was just so humbling playing against such advanced players. I mean, I'm just. Is that how you feel when you play against me? No, I'm just
I knew it. I was gonna do the joke, but I've got advice for you, Wilson. I've
What's
got some
that?
advice.
I need to learn from
Well, I
you.
think
What?
you do someone that faces defeat regularly. I've thought the thoughts you've had to think, but I've had to think the thoughts at lower level play. But a part of it is it's what you're saying, everything that you said, but it's also fatigue. And I
Mm,
think your strengthening is a good idea, but I also think you're pretty strong, dude. You can swing freaking sledgehammers. I think what you probably have stopped doing is wall drills.
mm,
And basically, it is the number of hits. And so it's hard to drill on a wall, like, because like it is hard when you're doing the speed ups and the rallies at a wall because the ball you have to stand so close. But I think that we can
mm.
drill as well. But I know you probably don't have the luxury of space being an apartment liver like me. But if folks do have space, the Dinkmaster Pro has
Mm.
the speed up part of the board, and that I really think if when I note it when I watch when I play more advanced players like at challenge courts or whatnot,
Hmm.
first off, they are what you said, they target, but really more than anything is they're so freaking they can do so many reps. And the
Yeah.
other thing is they don't fatigue, and I think one thing that you might have experienced cuz I don't see you do pop-ups, I think you might have fatigued to where your grip loosened
Uh, yeah.
and then your paddle face might have gotten off angle because you don't really do pop-ups. And so I think maybe it's less of a strategy thing and more of a endurance. I don't think you need to get any stronger. Like I get like the lightning loop will definitely help. I mean, the lightning loop will help with the fatigue part,
Mhm.
but I also think
Wall
it's
drills.
wall drills. And then one thing I've noticed is if I get in a hands battle, like, and I'm across from a robot at the challenge court that's
Mm.
just going to do that all day, like my grip position will loosen as a result of like just battling so much. And so that's I think I really I can't you doing a pop-up, bro, my gosh, I'm gonna watch that play footage.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I think yeah, wall drills, and then we should drill hands battles because I also think that's one thing that in some of the play footage we record, everyone's always trying new paddles and trying different things. And we do hands battles, but there's always an opportunity to do a put away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think doing some focus play on hands battles would benefit both of us. But I
Mhm.
like it. Endurance either through strength training with that lightning loop, either through repetition at the wall, and then we'll be able to battle some 5-0 robots pretty soon. All All right, folks. I think Wilson made us better at pickleball by playing so bad at his tournament. So I think you fulfilled you mission accomplished. But all right, guys. You've been here long enough. We're gonna wrap up. All I want to do is remind you, we still got some live giveaways. We got a Honolulu Notch foam paddle. We've got a ThriveFury. We've got a Carbon True Foam Genesis 4, and we'll probably have that Waves video up soon, and that's going to have a giveaway. So make sure you subscribe. You won't want to miss it. Throw us a like if you can. And what are you doing? You're stripping your paddle down? What's going on over there, Wilson? All right, this guy's getting ready to go to the courts. But more than anything, Wilson, I hope these folks get to go pickle soon. Do you hope they get to pickle soon?
I hope everyone gets to pickle soon.
But more importantly, just don't forget, it's about having fun.